Hi there, I'm Dr. Cassidy with Bumps and Babes Wellness. I am a prenatal postpartum chiropractor as well as a certified lactation consultant. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my favorite exercises to flip a breech baby. These exercises you can do at home by yourself in order to get your baby into the proper birthing position, which is head down. Things you're going to need for this video: 1, your exercise ball or your pregnancy ball, and 2, some type of a small ball. This is a yoga therapy ball. I'll be sure to include a link below. A tennis ball or a lacrosse ball will also work. Without further ado, let's dive in. Exercise 1 is a cat-cow. So you're going to position yourself on your hands and knees. I want your shoulders stacked over elbows, stacked over your wrists, and then those hips directly in line with the knees. So we're going to drive that spine up towards the ceiling, tuck the chin, and tuck the pelvis under. Specifically with this cat-cow for breech baby positioning, I really want you to focus on your pelvis going forward and back. So we are tucking that pelvis under, and then we are pushing it back anteriorly, sticking that booty out. Again, for the purpose of this video, we are going to stick to 5 reps of each exercise. It's easy to remember, it's quick to do. Next exercise is going to be a kneeling stretch that really emphasizes the stretch of the iliopsoas muscle, that front of the hip muscle, but we're also going to make it a little spicier by adding some side body stretching. So I really like to support yourself by using a wall. Leg next to the wall goes up. I'm going to use this hand for support. I don't want booty out, and I don't necessarily want a full pelvic tuck. I want your pelvis neutral. From here, you can drive this knee forward, keeping shoulders nice and stacked over hips. Then I'm going to take my outside hand and lean over towards the wall. Great, you can do a few reps like this and almost relax and then stretch into it, or you can just hold for about 20 seconds. I'm only going to be doing one side, but I always want you to be doing both. Keep it nice and equal. Next thing is some thoracic rotation. Some people call these windmills. A lot of the times we focus on pelvis and hips when we talk about breech babies, but the thorax, that mid-back, and its mobility really is an important player. So for this stretch, you're going to simply reach an arm up and then reach an arm through. Great, and as I said, we're going to do 5 reps of this. You will have limited mobility if you are in your 3rd trimester of pregnancy, which is oftentimes when we are worried about baby positioning. However, whatever you can do is important to utilize at this time. For the next 2 exercises, we're going to be using your pregnancy ball or your exercise ball. First one is from the knees. Again, we're going to be focusing on increasing the space between pelvis and ribs. It's going to stretch your round ligament and also your abs. So place the ball out in front of you, like so. Knees apart, feet together, and we are going to fall down. Now from here, we can roll side to side to really stretch one side of our body. I'm going to roll to the left to stretch my right. I crossed my right hand over my left to intensify the stretch. And again, similar to the kneeling, so as I am feeling this from shoulder to hip. Again, you can just hold this for like 20 or 30 seconds, or you can go in and out of this stretch by rocking hips or moving side to side. Next one is pelvic mobility on your exercise ball. This ball is too small for my height. This is a 55 centimeter ball. I typically need a 72. There's also a 65. So be sure you're choosing the right size exercise ball, but this will do for demonstration purposes. So here I want you to, again, focus on pelvic tilting, kind of like we did in that cat-cow. Stick booty out, tuck it under, stick it out, Good. And we can do more than just front and back movement on our ball. So we're also going to go, I think this will be easiest to show it, side to side. And simply wiggle our hips side to side. So we have front and back, we have side to side. You can do full circles with your pelvis. I like keeping hands on hips so we can really isolate pelvic mobility, but it is not necessary. Do what's most comfortable for you. You can also practice some figure eights, really find some sticky spots, some areas where it's maybe not as fluid to move. This is a great thing to do instead of sitting up on your couch at the end of the night. Sit on your ball and practice some pelvic mobility. For the next stretch, we're going back to the ground. Again, you can use a wall for some type of back support. There are a lot of different ways to stretch this particular muscle, but during pregnancy, this is one of my favorites. So we're really targeting our external rotators of the hip here, our piriformis muscle. It is very commonly tight in my pregnant mamas. So we are going to cross one leg over another. You can start by here. As you can see, I kind of lifted myself up into that position, but you can start here and then just snake that lower leg up. And you will feel stretch in your outer hip. If it's too intense, just lower that leg. And if you want more, you can hike up that foot. Here, we're just going to relax and breathe for 20 to 30 seconds. Whenever we are stretching or really having a static stretch, it's nice to practice your diaphragmatic breath. So really inhale, let your stomach expand, and when you exhale, it's going to fall back in. You want to feel it, your diaphragm, your pelvic floor lowering on your inhale, and then rising back up on that exhale. Great. The next exercise, you're going to be using the lovely yoga ball or tennis ball, lacrosse ball, whatever you decided to use for this video. The best way to do this is to sit on your sits bones nice and high. I don't want the ball on your sits bones. I want it just towards the midline of your sits bones. I'm going right in between the sacrum, your triangle shaped bone that sits in the middle of your pelvis, and the sits bones, that bony part that you feel when you sit. So I'm gonna place that ball right in that spot, that space, and pretty immediately I can find some tender spots in here. So you can just relax and breathe. Let that muscle fall into the ball and really relax, or you can make it more intense by adding some movement. So ball is underneath my left butt cheek. I'm gonna be moving my left leg in and out of external rotation. And that definitely makes this a little spicier. But we are focusing on relaxing these external rotators of the hip because it's going to be a big player in how wide your pelvis can open, specifically during birth, but also just how tight your pelvis is in general, which could be impeding baby moving head down. And I lost count, so we're going to call this 5. That feels good. Again, always do both sides. The next exercise we're going to do is a solo sideline release. You may have seen or heard of a partner sideline release. That's something that we do here in the clinic, and you can even teach your partner to do at home if you're interested. But there is a way to have a similar stretch by yourself. I am going to demonstrate it on the floor, but know that you can also do the stretch on a couch or a bed. So lie down on your side. Biggest thing here is to keep your pelvis really stacked vertically. I don't want it to roll forward too much or even back too much. I want it to stay nice and parallel. So bottom leg is going to remain straight or slightly bent. Top leg is going to bend and fall over. Depending on your hip tightness, this may or may not be enough for you. And that's when the bed or the sofa is really nice, because this leg can fall off and fall even further, and we can really stretch this outer thigh and hip. It should feel really good. Again, hold 20 to 30 seconds before going to the other side. For one of our final exercises, I want you to try an assisted squat. If you feel comfortable with your hip mobility and strength at this point, you can do solo squats, something without an assist like a door or even a partner. But it's really nice to have some kind of assistance so you can really relax in a squat position. I'll show you what I mean here. I'm using just a sturdy door handle. I have my feet positioned wider than hip width apart, just slightly. Toes are slightly turned out. Now I'm going to sit back into my squat. I can hang out here for a little bit before I come up. And when I say hang out, I mean a few seconds. I don't want you to be there forever because we're also working on strength here. But it's really nice to have an assist with these squats so you can really relax and let your pelvic floor release. In addition to doing a few reps of squats, do not worry about how low you're getting or your mobility here. I just want you to focus on glute strength and relaxation. But you can take it further and you can sit down into a deep frog squat. If you're using a door, you can kind of sway side to side before you come back up. Feel free to try out different foot positions. That's going to feel different on your backside. And if you have bad knees, please avoid the deep squats. Let's review how to do a forward leaning inversion. A lot of pregnant women are really timid to try inversions, and understandably so, but when you know how to get in and out of an inversion safely, it makes it less scary. I always recommend, always, that you have someone around, someone home, even someone on the phone when you are doing an inversion, just in case something happens, you can't get in or out of it. That being said, if your strength is something you're worried about, you're stronger than you think, but you also know yourself best. So if you don't feel comfortable doing it, even after you know how to get in and out of it, steer away and try some of the other exercises. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using a recliner chair. Sofas work really great. Depending on your bed height, that can work too. Sometimes our beds are a little too high, but you're going to find yourself a comfortable spot on your knees, like so. From here, you're going to lean forward and place hands on the ground, like this. Now, you can hang out here, make sure you're comfortable, make sure your knees are back, hands are forward, before you then lower down to forearms. Let that head hang, let belly get really heavy, baby maybe falling into ribs. That's what we want. Don't try to hold your core. We want everything nice and relaxed. And you're gonna stay here for 20 or 30 seconds. Set a timer on your phone, hang out, and then you're going to reverse the steps to get out of it. So from elbows to hands, back to knees. Before you try to get up and get dizzy, make sure that you have your wits about you. You're not dizzy or lightheaded. Just give it a few seconds. If you want to do more than one rep, I always recommend waiting 60 seconds in between inversions.